welcome. My name is Gabby and I am starting a journey of sharing different craft things that I know, as well as just learning new skills and sharing my experience with it. So to start, today we're going to be starting a series on how to make a quilt. So I am releasing this pattern for what I'm calling the Fantasy Floral quilt. So here is my first version of it. I designed the pattern inspired by a trip that I took last year to Scotland. So I'm hoping that the pattern kind of brings to life the joy and peace in nature and how beauty is really found in simplicity. And so with that, I made this really simple pattern of just 2 blocks repeated that are both very simple construction that really emphasizes the beauty of the fabric that you choose, so that your fabric still gets to shine and you don't take away from that with the pattern that you're using. So in this series, I'm actually going to be walking through how to create this alongside my pattern, so you can look on my shop for the pattern and that will give you all of the instructions on cutting your fabric, how much you need to buy, and kind of how many of each thing you need to cut and all of that. So it gives you all of the detail along with step-by-step instructions, but the hope is that this video can walk you through in more detail. If you are a total beginner or haven't used these techniques before, it can kind of give you a little more guidance and just help make the process a little bit more friendly and exciting and a little less scary, because I know that quilting can be really intimidating at first. This is going to be part 1 of how to quilt for a beginner. In this part, I'm going to be covering how to start the process. So selecting your pattern, what supplies do you need, and just what does the quilting process look like as a whole? Because I know that that's a big thing of, before I jump into something, I want to know like what the full process is going to look like and what I need to know ahead of jumping into it. So the basic steps for quilting are, first you're going to decide on the pattern that you want to make. Then you're going to pick your fabrics. Then you're going to cut your fabric based on the quilt pattern that you decided on. Then assemble your blocks. So this is where you assemble each individual quilt block. Then you're going to assemble your quilt top, bringing together all of the quilt blocks. Once that is done, you can baste your quilt top, batting, and backing fabric, just basically combining the 3 so that they are attached for the quilting process. Then you're going to quilt. I have done this on my domestic home sewing machine, but you can also take this to a long arm. I haven't done this yet, so I'm excited to learn soon, and we'll share with you all once I do. After you're done quilting, your quilt might not be a full rectangle, it might be a little bit wonky, so at this point you would want to trim, basically just squaring off your corners and making the edges of your quilt look nice and clean, so that you can finish off by binding. So this is when you're going to prep your binding and sew it onto your quilt to close off the raw edges and finish it off nicely. To make a quilt, you need a variety of different materials. So to start, I would recommend getting a cutting mat, acrylic ruler, and rotary cutter, as this makes it really easy to see your fabric while you're cutting and get good squares. It is also helpful to have a pair of fabric scissors and embroidery scissors on hand, as you can easily trim excess seam allowance with your fabric scissors and your thread with the embroidery scissors. Water-soluble pencils are really helpful for marking lines for your sewing, as sometimes we're sewing diagonal lines. This makes it really easy to keep your seams nice and clean. As with any sewing project, you need some form of thread. This is quilting cotton thread from my fabric store, but you can use just about anything. It depends on preference. I like to use quilting safety pins and basting spray for my basting process, so these are the tools that I tend to use, but some creators use just one of the 2 as well, so that is an option. You'll also want to get some form of batting, and some options are this polyester and cotton batting. I have found that cotton is a little more breathable, while polyester is a little bit more cost effective. You'll also want to get a walking foot designed for your machine, so this will replace the presser foot that is normally in your machine and will just help the fabric to glide under it better, making the quilting process a little bit easier if you choose to quilt at home. And lastly, you'll want to pick out the fabric choices for your quilt. This is where you get to be really creative and decide on how you want your quilt to come to life. Thank you for joining me today in the first video in my series on how to quilt for beginners. I'm really excited for you starting your journey, and I know that quilting can be really intimidating, and I hope that these videos can kind of break it down into smaller steps that make it seem more approachable and exciting. I think the most important part is finding something you're really excited to try, like finding a pattern you're really passionate about or excited to see come to life, and just taking the first steps and enjoying the process. So I'm really excited to be along for the ride with you, and I hope to see you again in my next video on how to cut your fabric, assemble your blocks, and ultimately assemble your quilt top. So that is the front of your quilt. I'm excited to be on this journey with you, and I hope to see you again soon.